To the Market Expert Show, I'm Daryl Baskin of eXp Realty on your home for success, 105.7.
Let me tell you who came out on top in 2020, and that is our dogs, our pets. They had their people with them more than ever, and I know they're loving it. With me today for our small business spotlight is Hayden Fullingam. Hayden, really, you would think that dog training isn't related at all to real estate, but actually in a roundabout way, when we have sellers who have dogs, we have to think about what they're going to do with them during showings. And really, when you have a well-trained dog, handling that is a lot easier. And I know you guys have dog training and boarding. So Hayden, tell me how you got started in dog training.
I read Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. He mentioned list out 10 things that you love to do, 10 things that you hate to do. And then I circled 5 of the things that I love to do, which was be with animals, study body language, have a flexible schedule, work with people, and then work outside. And then I looked in that direction towards what sort of career paths there were, and I actually started out dog walking.
So how did dog walking evolve to dog training and boarding?
You can walk one dog pulling on the leash fine, but once you get to like 6 dogs that are pulling on the leash, then you start to develop like carpal tunnel and your hands start to hurt, and then my back started to hurt. So I started to look up ways of how to stop them from pulling on a leash. And then clients started to see, wow, my dog stopped pulling on the leash. Well, can you also potty train him? And then so I started to do that. And then little by little, it just started adding on until I picked up my first true dog aggressive case where there was just dogs wearing ribbons because he was fighting. They had a pit bull that they picked up off the streets of North Tulsa. The dog had been just attacking all the other dogs that were in the house. That was my big dog training, my first test.
So what can the training offer?
We're trying to be the best in America of boarding, daycare, dog training, private lessons. We're just going to try to be the absolute best we can possibly be in every area that we provide service in. I've only focused and honed in on raising the quality of everything that we do so that the dogs always impress and wow our clients and that the clients are more than pleased.
So how long is the boarding program? How long is it going to take for somebody to get their dog or dogs trained properly to where they're behaving well and you can take them in public, or when people come to your door, they're not going crazy?
Yeah, typically it takes 3 weeks to get everything in, and it's actually 24 days right now. I just keep adding days on. We're trying to be the absolute best. We're trying to make it. And what the best means in my mind is that when we drop the dogs off, not only do the dogs completely understand every command and have been through every scenario that could possibly come their way, but also that the owners are fully comprehending the material and are understanding how to manage their dogs in every situation. That's what I would really consider being the best.
Will I be able to take my dog off leash? I'd really like, and I think a lot of people like, especially millennials and just dog parents, dog people, want to be able to take their dogs to a dog park, want to be able to take their dogs a lot of places with them.
When we start training them, we use the mini educator systems, and we teach the dogs how to shut the e-collar off, how to turn the e-collar on, how to avoid the stem. And whenever you train the dogs to walk on a leash, say they get too far in front of you, it's just as simple as clicking the e-collar, and whenever they get back into the perfect heel position, you could just give them a treat or let the e-collar off. And when you use that method in every environment, soon the dog's natural stress threshold will raise to where it doesn't necessarily matter if you're walking by a fence of barking dogs or if you're walking through an aisle in Home Depot, even past other dogs, to your own personal dog. It's going to be the same thing as walking in your house after a while. So if you just work the dogs in public enough, it'll raise their stress threshold to be able to handle any environmental stimulus, no matter how loud or startling, and the dogs will get it perfectly fine. So then whether you have a leash on or not, it just becomes irrelevant because the dog is just so honed in to all of your commands and what you're doing, then they don't really care about what the world's doing.
Where do you do the training for the dogs? Do you go to dog parks? Do you have an actual location?
We are on 180 acres in Skiatook and 30 yards of turf. So I have like football turf that I've repurposed for the dogs to use. Keeps them nice and clean. And then we have a nice 1,700 square foot facility. And we basically make it like home. So the dogs are comfortable in their typical house setting.
So the doggy daycare reinforces the training?
Yeah, exactly. The daycare and the boarding kind of started after the dog training because I saw these dogs go to other boarding and other daycare facilities, and when I would go visit them, they were totally regressing. And I would hear a story about how the owner let their vet or let another company board their dog, and then when their dog came home, it was all these new behaviors had started. Then my clients, they just got behind, work starts to pick up and life happens, and then they don't have time to sharpen their dog back up. So I saw that as a big problem, and I've invested a lot into all my clients. They basically become friends, and the dogs, we spend so much time with them. So seeing them regress is not something I wanted. So we created the boarding and daycare to kind of be that stability, kind of that pillar that our clients could lean against. So while they're on their dog training journey, it can be much easier. And then say a common thing is the dogs will start jumping perhaps again. And if we have them for daycare or boarding, we can work jumping while we have them. So then when they go home, boom, you don't even have to worry about it. The dog's already been freshened and sharpened up. And that's a big thing that we pride ourselves on is every dog that visits us, even if it's just for a day, every dog is going to come home better than when they left.
So do the dogs look forward to doggy daycare?
They get to go see their buddies. A lot of times we'll have clients like schedule their dog's day with us just so they can have their best friend, their other dog, say like Fitz and Lenny. We have two dogs, like a Fitz and Lenny. And Fitz's owners specifically requested to be at daycare with Lenny's so that when Lenny's there, Fitz could be there together. So when the dogs are always together, they build really, really strong bonds, and it's fun to watch, honestly, as they develop and get older together, and it's really fun.
Okay, so what do people need to do to get a hold of you, to schedule training, to get in doggy daycare? Like, how do they find you?
Yeah, so if they just call 918-760-5286 and call or text that number even. Let us know what you're looking for. Let us know how we can help you. We'll get the ball rolling. And you can visit our website at apeacefulpack.com and fill out an owner assessment. You can also email us at apeacefulpack@outlook.com. You can follow us on Instagram or Facebook, A Peaceful Pack. That's our pages. And you can even message us on any of those. Really, any one of those methods you can use and get in contact with us.
You're listening to the Market Experts Show with eXp Realty. I'm Daryl Baskin.